Well, it's Wednesday wrestling, and you know what that means. So today we're going to review the MLW Fusion and also AEW Dynamite. But also, I'm going to add 2 days of New Japan's Road to Dontaku Wrestling. But all of that will be reviewed, discussed about on this episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that it's pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I'm your host, Jay, right here. So let's begin with New Japan's Road to Dontaku Wrestling. This one took place in Corkin Hall on the 19th of April. Now, this particular event is a little different from previous ones we have seen in the past. But however, there's a reason why. First match, we have a Bullet Club consistent of Ghetto, Dick Togo, and Evil taking on Tome Akihama, Toru Yano, and Hiroshi Tanahashi. Now keep in mind, Tanahashi is set to face against Jay White, who is not currently present, but Ghetto is taking his place. And of course, Evil is going to face Toru Yano for the KOPW Provisional Trophy in a very unique stipulation. But this match was kind of like the opener I didn't expect. And normally in the past, we've seen like the IWGP Junior Tag Teams teamed up with somebody from the heavyweight division, but not this time. But however, the same old jokes applied where Yano was trying to put lights out on both Evil and then Dick Togo, and that's the same old story. But however, it was Hamna, Yano, and Tanahashi to pick up the victory. Next match, we have LIJs, Bushi, Sanada, Naito, and Tagagi taking on the United Empire, Cobb, Hinare, Khan, and Osprey. As you know, the story is Great Khan has a little bit of a problem with Naito, who's been mocking him, and of course, Shingo Tagagi, who put himself as the next challenger for the IWGP World Heavyweight title. And that kind of fits into the story. But however, same results. And I have to say, poor Bushi, he has to be the one go through this whole mess where he actually get again the tour of the islands by Jeff Cobb. But however, you know, Naito, he likes to make fun of the whole thing. He thinks he's the kind of guy who doesn't care what Khan says because he criticizes Khan for who he is. But that's another conversation for another time. Now, as you know, recently we have challengers for the Never Openweight six-man tag team championship match. Now, keep in mind, this match was already set at when Bullet Club members Kenta, Yujiro, and of course Ishimori made the decision to challenge them. Now, this match has already been set for the following day, but right now this was a unique. Each individual from both sides of the teams will face off in singles competition. First match, we got Tomohiro Ishii taking on Yujiro Takahashi. This was also a very interesting match because, as you know, Ishii's familiarized with Yujiro, who is a former Chaos member who defected to Bullet Club. And of course, Yujiro tried to put up a great fight, but however, you cannot beat a guy like the Stone Pitbull. That's the reason Ishii is one of the most power hitting wrestlers within the heavyweight division. So Ishii won on a singles match for his team. Next match, we got Taiji Ishimori taking on Hiroki Goto. Now, this was a very interesting match. Now, keep in mind, the reason this whole thing happened was because Not too long ago, Ishii, who is a junior heavyweight contender, was able to pin a heavyweight contender like Goto. So you ask yourself, does Ishimori has what it takes to do it again? And the answer to that, he did. He was able to make the pinfall to put the 1, 2, 3 count on Goto. So that means it's a tie right there for both teams. But however, the main event was the determined factor. This one was against Kenta and Yoshihashi. This rivalry between them goes back when Kenta took the bow staff away from Yoshihashi. Now, the bow staff was not originally as a weapon, it was just used as a prop. But Kenta thinks that Yoshihashi has that bow staff as a waste of time, and he's trying to make jokes saying that the bow staff doesn't want to go back with him because he's the most boring person on the planet. That's how Kenta is. But this time, it was a hell of a match between both competitors. Yoshihashi continues to prove how strong he can be, but Kenta, he's a much effective striker than Yoshihashi, and it did allow him to win his match when he put him to go to sleep to him. So that's pretty much it. What happened on the 19th of April of the road to Dontaku Wrestling. So let's go to the following day, which is the 20th on this particular event. Okay, so we're continuing with more of New Japan's road to Dontaku Wrestling. This took place again in Korakuen Hall at the 20th of April. Opening match, we have Suzuki-gun, Minoru Suzuki, Kanemaru, and Despi taking on Humna and Roppongi 3K Show and Yo. Once again, the same old tactics, but this time the Suzuki-gun were being smart. They know that Yo has fully recovered from a injury on the ACL, and they targeted throughout the entire event. And this always played an effective role to prove, okay, if they can injure him enough, it's possible they could lose. Now keep in mind, Yo and came back, and he and Show actually won the IWGP Junior Tag Titles. Now, if they use the injury in effect to ensure that's going to win, we'll see what happens down the line. But however, that was the case, what they did to use to win their match. The next match, this rivalry between Dangerous Tekkers and GOD has escalated far enough. As you know, this has always been Doiki and Yado always have each other's throats. But however, this match ended with the GOD pulling up a victory. But however, that's not the case what's been going on. Ever since Dangerous Tekkers lost the IWGP heavyweight titles to GOD, they've been demanding another shot of the titles. But Tuck made a proposition. He's saying if he beats him, he'll put himself in a one-on-one match. If Zack Sabre Jr. Beats Tonga Loa in a match, he will give him and Taichi another shot of the tag titles. However, if Zack Sabre Jr. loses, then say goodbye for the opportunity to get those titles. So basically, he's put in the rock in a hard place. Now the real question is, will Zack Sabre Jr. accept? Now, if I was a betting man, there is no way he could say no to that. He would do whatever it takes because he tried to prove points. He did call the GOD they're a bunch of losers for losing the titles 6 times. Because they believe that you cannot lose your titles. You have to hold on to them. But this time, this is different. But we'll see what happens down the line. Next match, we got Bullet Club members Geto and Evil taking on Toru Yano and Tanahashi. This is another comedy match. As you know, this is very funny. But this time, the match ended in a DQ thanks to Dick Togo's interference. However, this time they got into the head of Yano. They spray painted the trophy all black. But however, everybody, they all got low blows, and that kind of ended in a bad way for them. So this is going to be an interesting development that's going to take place between Yano and Evil. Now we got the main. Now we got once again Lij versus the United Empire. This time Bushi was not put in a tour of the islands by uh, Jeff Cobb. He got kind of like the claw to by Khan, allowing them to win. But you know how um, Naito is. He's not afraid of him. He criticizes him too much, and that's what I like about it. Naito's not gonna back down from no matter what Khan says it comes out of his mouth. And don't forget, Takagi will have his shot against Osprey for the title, and that is coming up soon. Now the main event is for the Never Openweight six-man tag team titles between Bullet Club members Yujiro, Kenta, and Ishimori taking on Chaos, the champions Yoshihashi, Goto, and Ishii. This was a very good match. Now you would not expect a whole lot, but however, I felt that this match told a story like, yeah, because people, many wrestlers in the past, in story wise, they criticize Yoshihashi saying he's weak and pathetic, but this time he isn't, and it did allow for um Hiroki Goto to win the match, but however, Yoshihashi reclaimed his bow staff, and this time it ended great. But I should mention, during the match, Yoshihashi used the bow staff as a weapon during the match when the ref was knocked down. But it was a great moment to see Yoshihashi finally obtain what was taken from him, and we'll see what happens down the line. So the real question is, who will be the next challengers for the Never Openweight six-man tag team championships? Well, we just gotta wait and see what happens next. So let's go on and move on with MLW Fusion. Okay, so MLW Fusion, it was great. It had a great some certain stories that took place. Now, in the opening match was Gino Medina taking on Rocky Romero. As you know, Rocky is a international sensation who traveled the world. But however, Gino is still dealing with the fallout since losing to Holiday in the for the Caribbean title. But the real question is, did Gino had what it takes? Nope, he did not. Even though he did a valiant effort, but I have to say Rocky put him away with the armbar, which has now been effective for him in his arsenal. So I have to say Gino did what he did, but still not enough. All we gotta do is win and see what's gonna happen. Now, as you know, there's a relationship between both Holiday and Alicia Atout. I don't know what's going on with them, but however, Holiday was trying to show this poster, but he thinks this will set up his merch sales high, but Alicia too doesn't believe it will because it's not finalized, but he thinks he is. So I don't know what's going on with that, but it's very funny. Now, regarding of what's been going on with Azteca Underground, Selena De La Renta went behind El Jefe's back and set up a match between Mil Muertes and Hammerstone. And as you know, the match was unsuccessful. But the real question remained what El Jefe was going to do. The Los Parks reminded Selena De La Renta, you turned your back on us after what happened. And then he said Selena called him an idiot for not winning the National Openweight title. However, that set him up. Now, this could lead to a different landscape. As you know, recently, Los Parks have been showing loyalty to this mysterious El Jefe that nobody knows. But however, Los Parks know because of her actions, this could lead to a problem. But they did show it earlier in the of earlier that Selena De La Renta was in talks with the guy, with whoever this El Jefe is. Nobody knows who he is or what he wants. But Selena De La Renta, well, She's not happy, but however, she has to oblige. And the Stooge once again removed the camera. Now, as you know, Leo Rush has not yet put on his MLW middleweight title on the line. However, Myron Reed did made a argument that he does have the right for a rematch clause. But however, Leo Rush said it's not going to happen. But he does have the given right. But I'm going to explain this later to that when we get it. Now the next match we have King Mo taking on Robert Markov. I can tell you the match ended quickly with Mo winning. But however, Mo has been an unhappy individual since arriving. His beef towards Loki has been making him stronger. He's upset that he's not even in the top 10 of most watch wrestlers or whatever they do. But his issues towards Loki is still strong. You see, last year Loki was injured and King Mo was telling MLW they should remove him from the Opera Cup because of his injuries. But the MLW made it perfectly clear that he stays, and they put King Mo as the reserve if anybody's spots was jeopardized. It didn't happen. So they're trying to prove a point, but this time it appears they're not happy with the results that King Mo is being left out. But we'll see what happens down the line. Now, speaking of not happy, even Tom Lawler is not happy. He's trying to prove right now that even though what happened at Filthy Island, he's trying to prove that the Von Erichs, that they're the bad guys underneath the mask that they wear. So that's what's going on. So he thinks that he is the victim of bad circumstances, but in reality, it was Lawler who turned his back on them when Ross Von Erich got the opportunity to win the MLW World Heavyweight title from Fatu, but it didn't happen. So it was Lawler who turned his backs on the Von Erichs. Now, this next interview was the very first time we hear from the owner of MLW, Court Bauer. Now, this is the first time. Now, Kurt Bauer is saying that we're getting close to ending the season and restarting anew in July. Apparently, as you know, they relied more on their fans. So, apparently, the restart will begin on July 10th in Philly, and they're hoping to have fans return to attend the event. But however, he did state it on certain matches, a match that's going to take place. This one regards of course, the MLW World Middleweight title, where Leo Rush will put the title on the line against Myron Reed. Court Bauer said he had a good conversation with him. He's granting him his rematch clause. Now, all these are great news, and as you know, also MLW will be on Vice TV very soon, and I hope this is going to begin at the restart on July 10th. But however, the broadcast was interfered once again by Contra member Joseph Samael, who believes there's going to be a massacre and all of this. They're still determined to reclaim MLW and turn it into their personal empire. As you know, they reclaimed it back since the other restart last year, but we'll see where they're going to go with it. Now, Marshall Von Erich still wants a piece of Lawler after all the things that he put the Von Erichs through, and this time he set up a match next week against Lawler. So this is going to be another interesting development. Now, Myron Reed has stated out he is happy with the results, that he is going to get his rematch. So he's ready to go. He's told that he got rid of Contra in the rearview mirror. So now it's time for him to reclaim what he lost. Now, the next match is Buku Dao versus TJP. Now, as you know, TJP was not happy with Buku Dao. This was a very interesting match because it tells the story where it's master versus student, and the real question is who was going to win, and this time it became the student. I was surprised. I did not expect it, but it was great. So Buku Dao had a major upset in this match. But the episode did not end there. There was a press conference by the the MLW National Openweight Champion Alex Hammerstone. He finally called his shot. He wants another a crack for the MLW World Heavyweight title that includes Jacob Fatu. I'm still waiting for that match. I hope if you guys are want to see that match, you know you guys see it. I'm definitely want to see it. But Court Bauer, the ball is in your court. So let's end the episode with this Wednesday's AEW Dynamite. Okay, so we got AEW Dynamite. Opening match is Ricky Starks taking on Hangman Adam Page. This was a really good match. I have to say, great opening. It was like one of those matches where, okay, can Ricky Starks beat Hangman Page since he is currently ranked number one in the rankings? And of course, Taz was right there. But however, the Starks did try to use every means necessary to ensure that Hangman does not use the lariat. But this time it did. It worked. He put him in the buckshot lariat. But however, Taz, with his bad mood, decides to take out his frustration out of Hangman. He sent his son Hook. It became a 2-on-1 situation. And here comes Brian Cage to powerbomb him. But thank God for the Dark Order who show up. Now, Taz, I know you have a good relationship with Negative One. I think you have to explain yourself to him on the next episode of Dark. And this is going to cost your little friendship with him. Now, the next match is Penta Cero Emmett taking on Trent. This rivalry between best friends and Death Triangle is now beginning since we recall last time. Since the formation of this group, Death Triangle, looks like the best friends can't wait to get their hands on them. I'm excited to see this feud, and of course, Penta won his match. Now, the Pinnacles had a little sit down with JR, gave their thoughts about anything. But mostly all of this was in direct mentioning, of course, the demo god, Chris Jericho, giving their pieces of mind and all this and that. And of course, saying that MJF is better than him and he knows it. So basically, we got the same old story, as always. Now, this next match is for the AEW Women's World title between challenger Tay Conti and Hikaru Shida. I have to say, this match was unbelievably good. These are two women who respected each other. You got Hikaru Shida, who has held this title for almost 334 days. But however, this match went in every aspect that I thought it would be because they have a similarity of fighting styles. As you know, Hikaru Shida has a martial arts background, so does Tekanti, but it would make a lot more sense. But however, did Hikaru Shida retain the title? The answer to that, yes. But however, in post-match, she got a little visit from someone who is determined to become the AEW women's title and believing herself that she is the true leader of the women's division, and that is Britt Baker. Now, as you know, Britt Baker was number 2 of the rankings, but however, because Tekanti lost, she is now number 1. But the real question is when she will face. Now, if I was a betting person, which I'm not, but if I did bet, I would say maybe this opportunity could land at Double or Nothing. Now, why would I say that? It would play an important role for Britt Baker because Double or Nothing was the debut for her in this particular match. So that's how I would see it. But we'll see from from here on out where they're gonna go with this, or if someone wants to challenge. Like to me, I feel like Jay Cargill could be that same competitor that wants the title. And then there's of course the bunny who has been excluded out of the AEW Women's Eliminator. We'll see how that goes down the line. Now, Miro has been pretty much in an unhappy mood. Kip Sabian is nowhere to be found, but however, it appears that he's finally going to fulfill what he wanted. He wants championship gold, but the real question is which one will he obtain? The TNT or the world title? Frankly, I don't think it makes a difference because we know he can win one of those two titles. And that's how I generally see it. Now, the inner circle comes out during an interview with Shivani, giving their full thoughts about everything that's been happening with their big war they're having with the Pinnacle. So pretty much that's been happening. It was some great promos. I did like how the inner circle talked, gave their peace of mind about the Pinnacle, but which faction is going to be the most dominant one at Blood and Guts at May 5th? Well, can't wait to see it, so we'll see from there. The next match we have Billy Gunn versus QT Marshall. Now this is becoming a full-blown war between the Nightmare Family and the Factory. This match was pretty intense, but however, Billy's sons got in the face of Nick Camarado and Aaron Solo, but however, the whole thing went sideways when Anthony Gogo did the little punch and took care of the whole match, and Diamond Cutter of Billy Gunn. But however, QT was about to take out what's his name? QT, but however, here comes Dustin Rhodes, his former tag partner, and now it appears that he wants payback. And then Camarado shows up and looks like this is going to be another match. I'm assuming this match could take place in sooner than later between both Camarado and Dustin Rhodes. So we got to pay attention to that. Next match we have is Powerhouse Hobbs taking on Christian Cage. This was also another unbelievable match. Like some people would say, Christian Cage could lose the match, but however, does he still have it being the same guy that we've known for years? I have to say he did, and I was surprised that he was able to somehow beat Powerhouse Hobbs. I didn't expect it. It was great. Ricky Stark comes out to check up on Hobbs, but the real question is, I saw the look in Stark's. Will he be the one to challenge him to put him out? We'll see that when it comes. Now, as I mentioned Jade Cargill before, there was many managers that includes Matt Hardy and Vicky Guerrero that would like to have her, but however, Cargill says they better have a good deal for her. If I were a betting man, I would say she could go with Vicky Guerrero because Matt Hardy will only take a percentage. And that's something that I don't think she would want. Now let's get to the main event, which is the TNT title. Jungle Boy versus our champion, Darby Allin. Unbelievable match. I have to say, it's one of those matches you gotta pay attention. Even when Jungle Boy put him in the snare trap, I did not expect that he was gonna somehow crawl to the rope. But however, there's something cool that happened. You saw Sting fight a dinosaur. How often do you see that? You don't. But however, the match ended greatly with Darby Allin applying this Last Supper on Jungle Boy, winning the match. But however, the whole thing went down to hell when the arrival of both Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky sending a message. And here comes Lance Archer to give the helping hand. And then here comes Sting. Now, as you know, you ask, why would they attack Darby Allin? There's a reason to that. Scorpio Sky felt that he should have been the TNT champion. Ethan Page felt that opportunities should have been given to them, but no. But the real question also is, are we going to see the lines between Sting, Darby Allin, and Jake Roberts? Well, I personally would like to see that. But the real question is, who will be the next challenger for the TNT title? There is no doubt in my mind that either Paige or Sky would love to get their hands on that. So that's pretty much it. What took place on MLW and AEW Dynamite. But also, I did review what happened in the last 2 days of the Dontaku Wrestling. So stand by for some more coming up. We got more of Wrestling Dontaku, Road to Wrestling Dontaku, and of course, we got an NXT UK, and I'll throw in another event or two that I haven't seen yet, either if it's Japan or here in the States. So I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang!